ようこそ
Hello, welcome to a Bleach Rebirth of Souls video that I've been meaning to do for a while, but I was waiting to finish the game. So it took us 14 years since we had Bleach Soul Ignition or Soul Resurrection, depending on the region that you bought that game, to finally get a proper game. Yeah, we've had Bleach Brave Souls, Bleach Mobile, Bleach Online, Mobile 3D, and whatever else. Over those years, but not an actual proper game. So we finally got one, and I got it on PS5. And let's just go through the things that we can do on it. Starting with the story mode, which is pretty much the main reason to buy the game, I will say, and that's why I like the game, because for me it's worth it, because I like the story, single player modes, PV, and that kind of stuff. But basically you've got the main story, which is just a retelling of the Bleach anime, which pretty much everybody that's played the Bleach game is familiar with, because you will have seen a lot of this played over and over again. And you've got a lot here. Obviously, you've got chapter 1, and all the way down to Ueku Mundo, and the Battle for Karakura Town arc, which is where the game finishes, which is fine. It would be nice to get 1000 Year Blood War at some point, but I don't think we'll ever see that on a new game, and certainly not as DLC for this one. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's probably the case. And the other interesting thing is the secret story, which just adds a bit more to it. Then you've got the various characters here. So you've got the secret stories are broken into 3 systems. You've got the World of the Living, where you've got these ones, obviously, that we all know, how the anime started, and then the Soul Society. You've got these characters. Pretty cool, I would say. And then you've got the Yokomondo ones, which is basically all the Oran cards, and Aizenjin, and Tosen. And yeah, she's got a round page as well, so awesome on that. Probably one of my favorite ones was what is he, for God's sake, never find what I'm looking for. Oh, him. I mean, he was cool, but having him there, that I was not expecting, so that was awesome to have. And yeah, all of them were pretty good. Some better than others, and some with a bit more fighting than others. Normally you have only 3 chapters, and you might have a fight in each of them. I think there are some characters though that one of them you just like a cinematic, so you won't actually have a fight. But for people who like story and you're just chilling back on a couch, you've got more. I mean, it's the same with the story mode as well. You've got a lot more cinematics and cutscenes than you actually have fighting, generally speaking, which is a problem for some players, obviously. For me, it isn't. I'm fine with that. It's perfect even. Well, almost perfect. Nothing is perfect. And that's it for the story, really. Obviously, you can see I've got 100% in all of them. I did make a video with Chonsui's short story, which I'm sure nobody cares. And that's pretty much it. These are the 2 main things, and this is why I bought the game, especially the secret story. So as far as I'm concerned, the goal has been well met. I am very pleased customer. In fact, I even bought the game on Steam as well, in case we get some mods later on. What else have we got? We've got the offline mode, online, which wasn't all there when the game was released. There was no ranked, but before we go there, let's go into the offline. So you've got training, you've got versus, which you can just play against the CPU, or if you've got a mate or whoever that you want to play on a couch, or on a floor, or on a chair, or sat on a table, or even standing on a table, you can use there. And you've got these missions, which are basically 3 levels, 1 star, 2 star, and 3 stars, and you need to beat these if you want to maximize the achievements. The 3 stars is an absolute pain in the ass. I got him on a proper attempt 1, but that's called cheese attempt, because I basically had to cheese my way out with Bankai Ichigo. Otherwise, there's no way in hell I will never beat that. There's just no chance. This one, relatively easy, and 1 star, yeah, you can probably do it with your eyes closed. But yeah, this one, I tried it once with Sajin Komamura. Is that his name? The wolf guy. And I got my ass kicked, I think, on a second boss. Yeah, I don't think I even passed the second boss. Which, I mean, Sajin is not exactly one of the best characters, much for the opposite, actually. But still, I was like, oh, this difficulty is yeah, it's not gonna happen. But then I did it. I can show, actually, I think I'll go here. The things that I used, which you'll find online anyway. Well, that doesn't matter, we're not actually going to fight. Just to show the equipped thingies. I didn't use any talismans. I was probably maybe gonna try one day with talismans, but I just used the crystals. Which, that's the one equipped there. That one, and that one. I couldn't level them any higher than that at the time because I didn't have anything else, so that's what I went with as recommended online, except this one. I think the post I was reading would be a lower level and you'll still be fine, but I just maxed what I could. If I had materials, then I went as high as I possibly could. But yeah, only by... I mean, technically it's not cheating, but it's as close to cheating as it is. I will not have beaten it legitimately, that's for sure. So that's cool, and obviously you can try that with different characters. So that is, I guess, a little bit of replayability there, but not really. And that's one of the things where this game kind of lacks compared to Bleach Soul Ignition, is that on that game you had to finish the game with multiple characters in order to unlock everything on a talent tree or skill tree or whatever the hell it was called. And on this one, once you finish the story and the secret story, that's it. I mean, yes, you can replay it, but you literally will be replaying the same thing that you've already done. You can't change anything else. You've got the online, or you've got these little bits of offline, so it doesn't... Once you've beat the game, that's it. For most players. Which is not great. It will hurt the game long term. And yes, you have got online, but you also have players like me who don't care for online. So you're not going to see me playing the game in long term, because there's nothing for me to do. In fact, this is the first time I've touched the game since I platinumed it a few days ago. I will try some of the characters that came out. I haven't tried Yonohana yet, for example, so I will mess around with them. But that could be something like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you know, and then and then that'll be it. Because, yeah, there's nothing else there that I'm interested on. God, it's so slow. Which we will touch on in a bit. So here the online, you've got free match, which I think I used that once. Well, when I mean once, it's the only time that I actually played online. That's what I used. You've got the ranked match, which obviously, you know, ranked, self-explanatory. I don't know what the hell that is. Take part in matches with custom settings. Oh, okay, so you can select your own settings, and do you hope that you find somebody to match with? Is that how it works? Oh god, the loading. Room match. In the room match, players can join the room for versus, play with settings determined by the host. So yeah, so I'm guessing it's like your own lobby kind of thing. You create a room, or you can find other people's rooms. Okay, that is cool, I guess. Giving players options, so that's always a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Then obviously you've got the rankings. I wonder who's on thingy these days. Contacting server. God damn, it's so slow. Actually, this part is similar to the original game, not the original game, to the Bleach Soul Ignition game. Only had to fetch the ranking boards or the leaderboards, which was the only online component that that game had. One of the reasons why I liked it. So that's all characters, and I guess Professor Fire at Captain. And then you've got the players that do better, and then it's to load every time because God knows why. And I don't know, I don't even understand these rankings. But, you know, they're the rankings. Battle settings is modify battle settings. What will that be for? Because the others don't apply unless you're in the room one, which you change the settings then. Ah, okay, so if you want to equip talismans, right, okay. Talismans, as far as I understand it, they're one use. So once you put one on, you go into a battle, then, once it's used, you don't, it's not like the soul crystals where you just set them up. And unless you change them, they're always there. They're not single-use items. Stage. Okay, so, yeah, play menu. Okay, so here you can change, right? Okay, yeah, I think I've been here before. You can change like your game a card, play a card, whatever the hell you call it, which I haven't bothered much on, but I did change what I could because I don't know if there was a trophy on it. Maybe there was. I can't remember. This is where you announce the crystals. Yeah, but that's the compact certificate. Can I change? Is that the icon? Well, I don't really have got Onohana because obviously a new character, but that's all I have. Sticker? Why are those the only ones I've got? I don't know. I guess what titles I do get. I do have a few. Yeah, I don't really care for any of them. I would like a better icon, but I don't particularly like a color one, if you know what I mean. That's a color one, but I don't like it, and nor do I like that one. So, whatever. How do I get back to the top? Never need to go there. Equip soul crystals, World of the Living, Soul Society, control level. I've got no idea what this is. Okay, so the ones I've got... Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that is. So, I don't think I'll be touching that anyway. And this is obviously to enhance, which is fine. And items, inventory, and there are shop. Have I been on the inventory before? Doesn't look like it. Oh, it shows everything. So the talismans and the soul crystals and everything that you've got. Okay, awesome. Fantastic. I've not ever used any talisman. I equipped one because you have to for a trophy, which I think was the last trophy that I got. There might be a clip of that at the end of this video. And the rush shop, we don't have to go there because we're going to go back to the menu. You know, when the game decides to work. I really should look. Why do we need different soul crystals for those little things? So that was what you've got on the online. The tutorial, it's obviously the tutorial. You do have some challenges in the battle guide, and I think you need to complete the battle guide to get one of the achievements anyway. The challenges, I did do them because I was really struggling to figure out the controls earlier on, which is not surprising, especially as I hadn't even played a PlayStation game in a while before, let alone fighting one, which is another thing. It's a lot of people consider it a fighting game and were asking for ranked and wanted more on the online, and that's just not how I see the game. The problem we have with fighting in all of these games, especially online, you're gonna get people that are just gonna camp and defend and be as obnoxious as possible in hope that it works their way, or you'll have players just cheesing out using the cheapest moves possible and exploiting the mechanics of the game, or especially of some characters, which is against the terms of service if you do that. But I don't give a crap about that. I care about enjoying the fight, not about, oh, okay, yeah, he just cheesed his way through, I'm going to report him, hope he gets banned. No, you already ruined my experience. I'm not going to go out of my way to even make my experience worse for reporting a player for being a dick, basically. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like online fights in these games. Pretty much none of them. And then we have the store. Yes, let's click on that. Or our shop, PlayStation Store. Obviously, you can buy DLCs and whatever from the store, like any other game. And this is where you buy the crystals for one of the most annoying trophies. Probably the second one, trophy slash, achievement, depending on the platform that you're on. This is what I've got left to buy. I don't know if there's more that I haven't unlocked, maybe. But you need 80 of them to get the achievement, and this is what I've got left after buying everything for the achievement. And I got 7,000 points left, so I'm really glad that when I was doing the story mode and the secret stories, I tried to get the maximum soul challenges as possible to maximize the rewards. Otherwise, I would have had to repeat some parts of the game. Ideally, if you're missing some of these points, you repeat the missions, either the first one or the second one, whichever one you do faster and gives you the most benefit. But I didn't have to do that, so fantastic. I was really, really happy with it. I had not even enough to buy another one, so I was literally bang on to get the 80. Perfect. That really worked well. Because towards the end of the game, on the secret stories, there were a couple of fights where I didn't go for the max points, the 1,500, which is normally the third challenge, beat it whatever time or do whatever it is. So I didn't do a couple of those, and maybe earlier on in the game, I probably left behind another one or two that I just found really annoying to get. But everything else I got. So it is, if you're playing through the story, just remember maybe between the story and the secret story, maybe around 5 battles or so, that you don't get all the points before you really get to struggle at the end. But then again, if you play the missions, if you're happy doing that, because it might be easier, in fact in some cases it will be easier to replay even the 2-star mission than it is to get the third achievement on some battle that is just something annoying that you can't get. So what I would normally do is I would repeat the battle once, at the most twice, to try and get everything. And if I didn't get, I just like, okay, screw this one, go for the next part of the story. Don't get stuck on it. I don't really like grinding and repeating stuff, especially when you can't skip some things. Like, obviously I love the animations in the game. Hopefully I'll have some on a video. But one of the things that you can't skip when you go into a fight is obviously when the awakenings happen and when they use the kick-on moves, which is the ultimate moves. You can't skip those. So it becomes quite annoying when you have to repeat the fight and you have to go through all that every single time. That's why I didn't want to over-repeat it, because that will kill the enjoyment of the game, and that's the reason I'm playing, is because I obviously enjoying. If you stop enjoying it, then something is wrong, and you should have been playing that way, or playing it all. Options, that's all you've got there. Motion blur off. I never liked motion blur in games, for the most part. And volume, I don't know why I've got it on 80. I think it's because it's at the default, or maybe I changed it to 80 because I was thinking of streaming at some point. But I can't really can't stream from the PS5 because the mic audio is just so shite. And that's why I'm here making a video, I guess. Which is going to be me rambling for God knows how long. Yeah, let's try to make it around 25 minutes. I did play it with the English sub, voices in Japanese. If you're trying to follow sometimes dialogue in battles, it can get a bit tricky. But, that's just how I like to play. And extras, got the trophies here, which obviously I've got all of them. Nothing else to see there. We've got the movie gallery here. So some of the cutscenes that you see in the secret story and the main story are in this format, which I do really like the art style. Let's just click in one of them.
イチゴたちは精霊帝に侵入する方法を求めて俺の姉である芝空格の元を訪ねてきた。姉ちゃんの提案した精霊帝への突入方法は一つ。花火台から霊力の砲弾と化した俺たちを打ち上げ、空中から障壁を突破するというもの。俺は見張り役としてこいつらの面倒を見ることになったのだが、正直死神の格好をしたこいつは気に食わなかった。だけど俺はあいつに命を救われた。
その借りをまだ返してね。
こいつはほんの数ヶ月一緒にいた奴のために命を懸けようとしている。悔しいがその時俺はこいつに心を動かされちまった。こいつは他の死神とは違う、そう思った。だが俺の兄貴は死神に殺された。兄貴は後帝13体に入隊したった5年で副隊長にまで上り詰めた天才だった。それなのに兄貴は殺されちまった。仲間だった死神どもに裏切られて。俺はその時まだガキだったが、その時兄貴を引きずってきた鬼のような死神と、そいつに嬉しそうに礼を言った兄貴の顔だけは今でも忘れねえ。俺には兄貴がなんで礼を言ったのかわからねえ。どうして兄貴は最後まで死神を憎まなかったのか。どうして兄貴は最後まで死神を信じてられたのか。俺は知りたかった。
Okay, so that is the Ganju story, and obviously about Kai and Shiba, which you do have a bit more of him there. He's obviously in a rookie story and that. But that's a hard style that I think went really well, and maybe they should have used more of it. Because I think a lot of players will be more tolerant of this art style than what they actually end up using that just doesn't look right for all the other cutscenes. Sun gallery? What's in the sun gallery? I can't remember. Okay, so whatever. Glossary. Again, World of the Living, Soul Society, Yoakamundo. For anybody who's not familiar with the story, with the anime, or perhaps somebody that is forgotten about something and wants to know. It's pretty cool. I like when games do this, because it's easy for a developer to be like, this doesn't add anything to the game, and it's just development time that we're wasting on it, and nobody's going to use it. So I always appreciate when games have something like this in the game. And licensing, nobody cares about that. And that's it. And it's always slow when you go back. So one of the issues that the game adds, especially on Steam, but on PlayStation it has issues as well, and I imagine on Xbox as well. The performance is not great. It runs just about fine. I mean, even on PC, after a few patches, I can run it on my GTX 980 and i7 from 10 years ago. Although, barely keeping 30 FPS and sometimes going lower. But on PlayStation, at least, it should be better. And to be fair, on PC, it should be better. I had, the moment that I saw the minimum specs being posted on Steam, at some point last year, I already had a bad feeling. I think it was, was it the 2060 or something that they were asking for? I was like, no, for what we had seen at the time on trailers, I was like, no, this doesn't add up. And it didn't in the end. Performance was crap. On PlayStation, considering it's got an SSD and the game should be optimized because, all the PlayStations are the same. It's got the base PS5, which I do have, and there's a PS5 Pro. I don't get why going back to the menu and going through functions, it's often really laggy. Like, it takes too long to open or return to. In battle, it's actually quite responsive. It's fine. I don't have any issues with the game during battle, at least on a PlayStation 5. But each time you go into the menus, there's a weird lag on it that I don't get why it's there. How does it take so long? And also opening certain things, even the story in a game going from one cutscene to another, it's often it takes too long. Like, I don't care. I still play PS3 games, which obviously have long loading times. But on a PS5, I just expect a bit better, especially compared to other games that I play, including some PS4 games. So they didn't really do a good job on that. Another thing that they didn't do a great job on was translations. So because I've got the sound in Japanese, I don't know what they're saying, obviously. But the translation to English, there's definitely something amiss on quite a few lines. It's nothing major, you sort of understand what they're saying. well, you definitely understand what they're saying, but you can see that that's not exactly what they said. The translation it's wrong, or not entirely wrong, but it's like it's missing that little something to make sense. And the other thing that a lot of people complain about is these are the normal cutscenes that you have when you meet characters and stuff like that. And some look better than others, but there's this weird lack of crispiness, like there's no sharpness on it, which shouldn't be a problem for a game on a PlayStation 5. There's a weird blurriness to it. As I said, on some scenes it's more noticeable than others, depending on what's going on. And I don't understand why that is, because the in-battle scenes and the kick-on moves and everything like that, it looks amazing. I love it. It looks real crisp. And then you've got these cutscenes which the rendered stuff, and it just doesn't look good. So it really annoys me. Right, since we're in one of the stories fights, which I'm not going to do, this is normally what you get. Actually, I should have picked one that had two. So you've got like an order, which is normally win the fight, defeat whatever. And then you've got other things to do in a fight. So this can be good and it can be annoying because he adds a lot more for you to think about during a fight. I like simplicity because, I'm not very smart. So don't add things that are going to complicate and going to give me a headache. So you can have real moments to unlock, which you have to do a certain thing or certain things during a fight. And you've got secret moments that they're called as well, which you have to do something else to unlock that moment. And then you've got the soul challenges, which normally just give you more XP, or they give you those little things that I forgot what they are. I think they're fragments, soul fragments or something like that. So yeah, you could have up to 3 things to worry about while you're doing your fight. And here on the side, because you're obviously doing the story, you're playing with characters for the first time. Well, unless you spend some time online before or in single player, on offline mode. So you can read a bit about the characters and what they do, which I almost never do. And then I'm just finding myself, in the game trying to find out to do things. So don't be like me. The times that after I screwed up a few times, I realized on these real moments or secret moments that you have to unlock, it will tell you to use a certain move, like on this one, like a signature move at maximum charge. So that's what I will come here and find out what the what the signature move is, or whatever else that they're asking you to do, which is normally either signature move or spiritual pressure moves, 1 or 2. Use them 1 or use them twice or whatever. That's the kind of thing that you see a lot to unlock real moments and stuff like that. Talismans, like I said, I don't equip any, and then you just start the fight. And that is pretty much it, but we're not going to go into it because the video is already half an hour long and nobody's going to watch this anyway. So we are going to go and just get an example of the fights. So we're going to go versus. Yeah, we'll go with that, I guess.
かかってこいよ。ちゃちゃっとしまいにしようか。
Get ready. It's on.
よいやアホダメハンマーかわせるか後にせえ止めてみ見せてやるよよっそこだ丸どうしたよ何遍も言わすなできるか見せてやるよケツが捕まえたでアホそこだよいややめときかわせるかできる こっちから行くで行くでこっからだハンマーかわせるか行くで見せてやるよかわせるかあった嘘ばっかついてんと手貸してくれやさかそろそろ蹴りつけるでほなしまいにしようや一瞬だそれで俺がこの手だ行くぜおいほいっ悪いゲッツゴー戦いに慣れてりゃ慣れとるほど体は見たまま反射で戦うもんやひっくり返したりほんま性悪な残白刀やでなんや匂いがせえへんか倒れろ魚でようこそ逆さまの世界へ
Even recording on my old Elgato at 1080p 30 FPS, I think it's quite clear that those cinematics and animations are way better than what we get outside battle from the story mode and secret stories. So that is a shame. Really wish the game had more time in the oven before it was released. Not sure they had the time, considering what was happened with some of the studios and the Bandai Namco last year. So maybe this is the best they could do. I guess we might never know. The other thing that I really liked was the soundtrack of the game. That was pretty cool in my opinion. Really loving it. Did not get tired of it in the 67 hours that I played the game, not for a split second. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.